Monday, November 20th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including a fatal Stratford fire, a guilty plea in a Weston murder case, and much more. Frank Granito will have your forecast, and later on a Nutmeg Sports update, and Donald Eng joins us later to take a look back on this day in history. But first, in Stratford, a Saturday evening fire at a Melville Street home claimed the life of a man living on the home's second floor. Stratford Fire Marshal Brian Lampart said the man who owned the single-family home at 25 Melville Street was found in an upstairs bedroom. Stratford firefighters responded to that fire just before 5 p.m., according to a post on their Instagram page. That fire was put out in about 30 minutes. But Lampart said the male resident was one of 3 people living there. His wife and an adult son were not home at the time of that fire. Now, Lampart said firefighters discovered heavy damage to the master bedroom and adjacent rooms. Water and smoke damage was found on the first floor. Now, Lampart said a cockatoo in the home also died. 2 dogs in the home, though, managed to escape. The cause of that fire is still under investigation, as is the cause of the man's death. And in other news, HAN's Weston Forum reports that Jennifer Valiente, the girlfriend of Kyle Navin, has pleaded guilty under the Alford Doctrine to conspiracy to commit murder and hindering prosecution in the deaths of Navin's parents, Jeffrey and Jeanette Navin. Now, 33-year-old Valiente appeared in Superior Court in Bridgeport on Friday. As part of a plea bargain with prosecutors, she faces 8 years in prison. Now, under the Alford Doctrine, a defendant does not admit guilt or innocence, but acknowledges that the state thinks there is enough evidence for a conviction. Now, Valiente's attorney, Norman Pattis, said that she helped cover up the murders of Jeffrey and Jeanette Navin, but she did not know that Kyle intended to kill his parents, and she didn't help him do so, according to published reports. Now, Kyle Navin is charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of murder under special circumstances for the shooting deaths of Jeffrey and Jeanette Navin. Now, the couple were longtime residents of Weston and had recently moved to Easton, where they were reported missing in August 2015. Their bodies were discovered a few months later inside contractor bags and buried under leaves at a yard at an abandoned home in Weston. Both had been shot. You can get more on that story at thewestonforum.com. And in other news, the Ridgefield family displaced from their home on Encampment Place after a fire last Thursday night have accepted an offer from Steve Zemo, a local developer and member of the town's Board of Selectmen, to rent an apartment for free. Now, Zemo's helped out families put in a bind by natural disasters before, including during Hurricane Sandy. Now, he set the Corey family up in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment that's fully furnished, and as much of the Corey family's furniture and belongings were damaged in that blaze. Now, that fire that consumed the second story of the home last Thursday night might have been a lot worse were it not for the actions of a babysitter that was watching homeowners Laura and Stephen Corey's 4 kids. Laura Corey said the sitter, a senior at Ridgefield High School, attempted to put out the blaze that started in a closet in the room of Corey's 11-year-old daughter. Now, Corey said their 11-year-old son knew where the home's fire extinguisher was, but when the sitter realized the fire was out of control, she picked up the kids and got out of the house and called 911. Now, the cause of the fire has yet to be determined, but Albert Cabral, a cleaning and disaster specialist who inspected the damage on Friday morning, suggested it could take 6 to 10 months to fully repair. And a collection of 3 Audis, a couple of Mercedes, Acuras, and BMWs, a Porsche, a Land Rover, an Infiniti, and a Ford have all been stolen out of New Canaan this year. Now, in total, 13 vehicles have been stolen from New Canaan residences so far in 2017. Each and every one was left unlocked with the keys inside. Now, New Canaan Police Chief Leon Krolikowski spoke about the crimes, saying in part, "Our town, as well as most of Fairfield County, has been victimized by a Waterbury-based gang." He said throughout Fairfield County, this gang has stolen in excess of 100 vehicles. He went on to say that while we have arrested some of these gang members, we need our residents to be diligent and not make it easy for these criminals. Now, the 13 stolen cars year-to-date in 2017 compares to 6 car thefts in 2016 and 0 in 2015. And the Weston Volunteer Fire Department responded to a structure fire on Sawmill Road in Weston on Saturday afternoon. Arriving units found heavy fire and smoke issuing from the rear of that residence. Sawmill Road is shared with the town of Fairfield, so the Fairfield Fire Department responded after receiving 911 calls as well. A joint effort between both departments quickly brought that fire under control, according to officials. Well, 3 occupants and 2 pets escaped the blaze unharmed, and the Weston Fire Marshal is investigating. And in other news, state police arrested a 22-year-old Ellington man for allegedly drunkenly firing more than 30 rounds at a speed limit sign. Police were called to the scene in Ellington around 10:30 p.m. Saturday after several residents called 911 to report hearing gunfire. Well, police say that man was walking home after a night of drinking at a friend's house when he decided to shoot at the sign. Authorities say the man fired 11 rounds from a shotgun, 17 rounds from a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson, and 6 rounds from a Smith & Wesson .357 revolver. That man has been charged with unlawful discharge of firearms, illegal carrying of a firearm under the influence, as well as criminal mischief and reckless endangerment. And emergency responders had to extricate a person from a tractor trailer after it rolled over on I-84 westbound in Danbury this morning. Now, the crash led to serious backup in traffic from about 8:30 a.m. on this morning, as 2 lanes of that highway were closed between exits 3 and 2. State police say the driver's injury was minor. The DOT, the DEEP, and Danbury Fire Department were also called to that scene. All right, well, switching gears now, we're going to get a look at the forecast with Frank Granito. Frank.
All right, thank you, Kate. And we're looking at overcast skies right now around Fairfield County. We could see some sunshine moving in later on today. Temperatures in the mid-40s, might feel more like 30 though, as it's going to be pretty breezy out again. We're going to see wind gusts around 35 miles per hour this afternoon. They'll start to die down a little bit overnight into the teens, but we're going to see temperatures around 32, mostly clear skies. Heading into Tuesday, mostly sunny Tuesday and mild out. We're going to see temperatures back up into the mid-50s. Not as windy out, 10 to 16 miles per hour in the wind gusts, becoming cloudier later on in the day, and we could see some periods of rain overnight with a low of 42 degrees. Those periods of rain, they're going to carry into Wednesday morning. We'll see on and off showers through around the 2 o'clock hour, and then clouds giving way to some sun. Temperatures in the 50s again as it's a little mild. It's going to be clear skies overnight, a low of 28 as temperatures start to fall before what's going to be a cold Thanksgiving morning filled with football. And we'll get you caught up on all that football shortly with our Nutmeg Sports Update. For now, though, let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Lang will take a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have more news after this.
New Canaan Foreign Car. Yes, New Canaan Foreign Car has been servicing all makes of foreign cars for over 50 years. We also buy, sell, and consign cars too. We can help you with all your automotive needs from service to sales. Call us at 203-966-2681.
At Portofino Restaurant and Wine Bar in Bethel, fresh and simple food is our concept. Owned and operated by brothers Rocco and Louie, Portofino has a distinct and diverse food and drink menu. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Come join us for live local music on Tuesdays and Sundays, Wednesday nights for mouthwatering prime rib, and every Thursday night is ladies' night. Planning a party? All our catering menus are personalized to suit your event and your budget. Join us at the Dolan Plaza, 213 Greenwood Ave, Bethel, and call us at 203-797-8131. Like us on Facebook.
Welcome back to this November 20th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to take a look back on this day in history with Donald Eng. Don.
Well, a hapless musician makes history, sports history today. First, though, we go to 1820. An 80-ton sperm whale rams the whale ship Essex. Now, Melville's novel Moby Dick is in part inspired by the story. The sinking of the Essex took place 1,200 miles east of Tahiti, but ironically, the men feared that the island was inhabited by cannibals and instead sailed against the prevailing trade winds, taking 93 days to sail 2,000 miles to South America. 8 of the 20 men survived, mostly by consuming those that didn't. 1943. The Battle of Tarawa begins as Marines land on the Tarawa Atoll in the Gilbert Islands. This was the first large-scale amphibious assault against a defended beach in the war. It was about a year before D-Day. Many lessons were learned there at a very high cost. Chief among them, that underwater obstacles made men sitting ducks in the water, a lesson that would lead directly to the formation of the Navy SEALs. The fighting on Tarawa, famously intense and at very close quarters, the defenders so determined to fight to the last man that of the 4,700 Japanese and Korean defenders, 17 were alive when the fighting ended. Staying with World War II, we go to Nuremberg, where the trials against 24 Nazis begin on this day. Placed on trial for crimes against humanity, that is, starting a war that cost 40 million lives, and also participating in large-scale systematic atrocities. 12 of the 24 were sentenced to death by hanging, 7 more sentenced to prison terms ranging from 10 years to life. Americans did conduct other trials in the U.S.-occupied zone, including prosecutions of concentration camp personnel, but it was Nuremberg that established the current definition of what constitutes a war crime. Finally, now we go to 1982, 35 years ago, what is now simply called The Play. Check it out.
Harmon will probably try to squib it, and he does. Ball comes loose, and the Bears have to get out of bounds. Rogers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble at midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rogers. They give it back now to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going into the end of the Bears. The Bears have won. The Bears have won.
Was the University of California defeating Stanford in the annual rivalry game. The Play, now called simply The Play. The kicker, by the way, is Mark Harmon, not that Mark Harmon. The actor was actually a quarterback at UCLA. Cal used 5 lateral passes on the play. Richard Moen, who scored the touchdown, was also the person who received the kick. Also delivered the famous shot there against the oblivious trombonist Gary Terrell. That is your look back in history for today, November 20th, and I'm Donald Eng.
Not something you get to hear a lot, the oblivious trombonist.
Oblivious trombonist Gary Terrell.
Thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, in Milford, a woman who reportedly waved a box cutter as she shopped for clothes at Forever 21 was arrested November 17th and charged with breach of peace. Now, police said the incident happened at 6:10 p.m. 18-year-old Brianna Harris of New Haven was waving the box cutter around the store as she tried on clothes, according to police. Now, store employees stated that when they asked Harris to leave, she told them she would, quote, F them up, police said. Harris had left the scene and was located at a bus stop by officers. She was released from police custody on a promise to appear in court December 12th. And Darien police are advising residents to click it or ticket this Thanksgiving and every day. The American Automobile Association is predicting the busiest Thanksgiving travel season this year in over a decade. Now, while you're on the road in town, Darien police officers will be checking to make sure everyone is buckled up. Now, during the busy Thanksgiving travel period, the Darien Police Department, along with other law enforcement agencies, are partnering with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, state and local law enforcement, and highway safety advocates across the country for the National Click It or Ticket campaign. Across the country, these men and women will participate in a high visibility mobilization to ramp up patrolling to crack down on seatbelt use. And Stratford could eventually have 2 medical marijuana dispensaries in town based on a zoning commission vote at a November 14th meeting allowing the facilities. Now, the commission voted unanimously to approve the so-called text amendment change, which means the wording of the regulations is being altered to allow medical marijuana dispensaries. The new policy specifically sets a limit of 2 dispensaries in Stratford and includes numerous other restrictions. For instance, dispensaries won't be allowed in residential zoning districts. While the regulation change allows only facilities for dispensing marijuana, as of now, recreational marijuana is not legal in Connecticut. The Zoning Commission's action came after an extensive process of studying the issue, getting staff advice, as well as receiving citizen input at public hearings that were kept open numerous times. Now, the Town Planning Commission had favored allowing medical marijuana facilities in its recommendation to the Zoning Commission. The new policy replaces a local moratorium that had been in effect for the past few years. Connecticut currently has 9 medical marijuana dispensaries, including 2 in neighboring Milford, that according to the State Department of Consumer Protection. And U.S. Representative Jim Himes will speak with constituents about the political environment in Washington, D.C., the results of the November 7th election, and other hot topics this week. The congressman will speak at the Indivisible Connecticut's general meeting on Tuesday, November 21st at 6:30 p.m. at the Unitarian Church of Westport, and that's at 10 Lions Plains Road in Westport. This will be Himes' first public speaking engagement in his home district since the November 7th election. According to organizers, he'll share his views on the political environment in Washington, the tax bill, the Russia investigation, as well as recent election results and how grassroots organizations can bring about effective and meaningful change. Now, ICT4's monthly meeting is open to members, their family and friends, and the general public, especially District 4 constituents. The presentation will include a question and answer session. You can get more information at any of our HAN Network news sites. And the Trumbull Lions Club recently donated a pet oxygen mask kit to Trumbull EMS Director Joseph Lasella and EMT staff. Now, according to the Lions, losing a pet due to a house fire can be a devastating experience, and they wanted to give first responders the valuable pet oxygen mask kits to possibly save dogs, cats, and other small pets during a tragic event. Well, Joseph Lasella, chief of Trumbull EMS, stated that Trumbull EMS is very grateful for the continued support by the Lions Club. You can get much more at TrumbullTimes.com. All right, we're going to throw it back to Frank Granito now for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
All right, thank you, Kate. It is Monday morning, so it's time to congratulate our Week 9 winners for Athlete of the Week. They are Ben Seipel of the Staples Cross Country Team and Catherine Rusak of the Greenwich Girls Diving Team. Rusak won the CIAC Double L Diving Championship with a score of 486 at the finals last Wednesday in Middletown. She edged out her teammate Annabelle Pollock by 17 points, and the Cardinals swept the top 3 spots with 4 divers in the top 5. Rusak was the runner-up at the FCI Championships. She's also earned a place in the State Open now this season. And Seipel finished 5th to help lead the Staples Wreckers to a 2nd-place finish at the annual New England Interscholastic Cross Country Championships. The senior ran a time of 15:53 over the 5,000-meter course, and 3 Wreckers placed in the top 11. Staples' score of 103 was second, only Xavier's 74. We've got some more congratulations to offer out as a couple of FCX schools took home state titles this past weekend. First up, how about the Ridgefield girls soccer team winning their first ever state championship with a 2-1 victory over Staples. St. Joe's defeated RHAM 1-0 in the Class L championship game. You also had Staples defeating Darien 1-0 in the Class L field hockey tournament. New Canaan falling to Daniel Hand 2-1. Greenwich and St. Joe's both taking home state championships in volleyball. 3-1 victories in Class L for Greenwich and Class M for St. Joe's. And the Cardinals also winning a 3rd straight State Open swimming and diving crown. We'll have plenty more on all that action, plus we continue to get you ready for Thursday's coverage of the 2017 Turkey Bowl this afternoon at 2 o'clock on Nutmeg Sports. For now, let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today after this.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care gives you direct access to orthopedic specialists fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care can help. Open 7 days a week now at 3 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien, or in the Westport Medical Center at 323 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Go to coastalorthoct.com. Like them on Facebook.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And now, during our Black Friday sales event, get 0% APR financing for up to 72 months, plus $1,000 retail bonus cash on select 2017 Ram 1500s. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Ridgefield, PambyZone.com.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
CT City Lacrosse is dedicated to helping youth and high school players reach their full potential. Director Mike Nazaro, head lacrosse coach at Stanford High School, is holding boys and girls indoor winter clinics for the 2017-2018 season at Bobby Valentine's Sports Academy in Stanford. Find out more and sign up at ctcitylax.com.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. In Stratford, a Saturday evening fire at a Melville Street home claimed the life of a man living on the home's second floor. Stratford Fire Marshal Brian Lampart said the man who owned the single-family home at 25 Melville Street was found in an upstairs bedroom. Stratford firefighters responded to that blaze just before 5 p.m. Saturday. According to a post on their Instagram page, that fire was put out in about 30 minutes. Lampart said the male resident was one of 3 people living there. His wife and an adult son were not home at the time of the fire. Now, Lampart said firefighters discovered heavy damage to the master bedroom and adjacent rooms. Water and smoke damage was found on the first floor. Now, Lampart said a cockatoo in the home also died. 2 dogs in the home managed to escape. The cause of that fire is still under investigation, as is the cause of the man's death. And HAN's Weston Forum reports that Jennifer Valiente, the girlfriend of Kyle Navin, has pleaded guilty under the Alford Doctrine to conspiracy to commit murder and hindering prosecution in the death of Navin's parents, Jeffrey and Jeanette. Now, 33-year-old Valiente appeared in Superior Court in Bridgeport on Friday. As part of a plea bargain with prosecutors, she faces 8 years in prison. Under the Alford Doctrine, a defendant does not admit guilt or innocence, but acknowledges the state has enough evidence for a conviction. Valiente's attorney, Norman Pattis, said she helped cover up the murders of Jeffrey and Jeanette Navin, but she did not know that Kyle Navin intended to kill his parents, and she didn't help him do so. Now, Kyle Navin is charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of murder under special circumstances for the shooting deaths of Jeffrey and Jeanette Navin. The couple were longtime residents of Weston and had recently moved to Easton when they were reported missing in August 2015. Their bodies were discovered a few months later inside contractor bags and buried under leaves in a yard at an abandoned home in Weston. Both had been shot. There's more on that story at thewestonforum.com. And the Ridgefield family displaced from their home on Encampment Place after a fire last Thursday night have accepted an offer from Steve Zemo, a local developer and member of the Board of Selectmen, to rent an apartment for free. Now, he's helped out families put in a bind by natural disasters before, including Hurricane Sandy. Well, he set the Corey family up in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment that's fully furnished, since much of the Corey family's furniture and belongings were damaged in that fire. Now, the fire consumed the 2nd story of the home last Thursday night, but it might have been a lot worse were it not for the actions of a babysitter who was watching homeowners Laura and Stephen Corey's 4 kids. Now, Laura Corey said the sitter, who's a senior at Ridgefield High, attempted to put out the blaze that started in a closet in the room of Corey's 11-year-old daughter. Now, Corey said their 11-year-old son knew where the home's fire extinguisher was, but when the sitter realized the fire was out of control, she picked up the kids and got out of the house and called 911. The cause of the fire has yet to be determined, though according to a cleaning and disaster specialist who inspected the damage, it could take 6 to 10 months to fully repair that home. And in other news, a collection of 3 Audis, a couple Mercedes, Acuras, and BMWs, a Porsche, a Land Rover, and an Infiniti and a Ford have all been stolen out of New Canaan this year. Now, in total, that's 13 vehicles that have been stolen from New Canaan homes so far in 2017, and each and every one was left unlocked with the keys inside. Well, New Canaan Police Chief Leon Kralikowski spoke about the crimes, saying in part, our town, as well as most of Fairfield County, has been victimized by a Waterbury-based gang. He said throughout Fairfield County, the gang has stolen in excess of 100 vehicles. He went on to say, while we have arrested some of these gang members, we need our residents to be diligent and not make it easy for these criminals. Now, the 13 stolen vehicles year to date in 2017 compare to 6 car thefts in 2016 and 0 in 2015. All right, let's take one final look at your forecast with Frank Granito. Frank.
All right, thank you, Kate. And again, we're seeing mostly cloudy skies right now. Those could break in a little while, and we'll see some sunshine dominate before the end of the day. But it's going to be pretty windy again today. Gusts around 35 miles per hour. Temperatures in the mid to high 40 range, and we'll see clear skies overnight with cooler temperatures in the mid 30s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a little milder as temperatures are back up into the mid 50s, maybe peaking out around 58. See wind gusts between 10 to 16 miles per hour, becoming cloudier later on in the day, and we could see some showers overnight with a low of 45, and those showers are going to carry into Wednesday morning. You'll see on and off rain periods through around the 2 o'clock hour Wednesday morning. Temperatures in the mid-50s again, still a little mild out, but it will start to clear up later in the evening and overnight, and temperatures are going to fall all the way down into the 20s before what should be a cold Thanksgiving morning. We'll have more on that as the week goes on, and we're back at 2 o'clock this afternoon with Nutmeg Sports. We'll see you then. For now, back over to Kate.
All right, as Frank said, Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock. We're going to wrap things up here. No coffee break tomorrow at 11, but stay tuned. We have a lot of excitement coming up pre-Turkey Bowl, so we will see you later. Have a great day.